Hello fellow gamers, and welcome to another greenhell episode with the Unkempt Gamer. As you may be aware, Creepy Jar is bringing something wonderful to this game we've all grown to know and love, and we're going to go over much of what's coming. What I'm going to show you is still in beta, so some, all, or none of what we're going to look at may change. Just please keep that in mind, especially if you're watching this long after the date this video came out, because things may look different once this beta makes it to the full release version of the game. I'm going to start out with a few changes that I'm a little lukewarm on, and then end the episode with my favorites. I'll also separate this by chapters, so if there's a section you came here to see, you can skip right to it. If there is a specific item or change you would like to see me dedicate a whole video on, please let me know in the comments so we can talk about what you'd like to see. And one final order of business. I would like to thank everybody that's been watching my videos, not just from the inception of this channel, but particularly within the last, I would say, 2 months. My videos, as you've probably noticed, have taken a different turn, where instead of I'm just doing Let's Play videos, I'm also doing some instructional videos, and I guess you could say some opinion-type videos as well. The viewership on those has skyrocketed compared to just the Let's Play videos, and once again, I wanted to say thank you. Now, as you can probably tell, I have everything set up for us right here. I built this entire area with all the cool stuff you're about to see on my Twitch channel live. So if you'd like to be a part of that amazing community, I'll put a link on the screen and drop a link down in the description of this video. And if you like Kick, please follow me there too. I'm not currently streaming greenhell there now, but hey, you'll be ahead of the curve if I ever do. Alright, let's get to it. Let's get the easy one out of the way. Holders, aka stands, are now universal. So if you make a long stick holder out of wood, you can put bamboo long sticks in there instead. This also holds true for log stands and stick stands. The stick stand also has an additional feature where if you're holding both sticks and bamboo sticks in your backpack, it will prompt you to right-click and choose which type you want to put in the holder. The leaf stand is universal, but takes it to another level. Not only can you store either palm or banana leaves in this holder, you can either do 30 of the same type or 15 of both, as seen here. Lastly, every type of storage construction now has its bamboo version. There is one important area of note. While you can store 15 of each of both types of leaves in the leaf holder, you cannot do so with holders such as the long stick holder. So in other words, you cannot put both bamboo long sticks and long sticks in the same long stick holder. Overall, my take on this is I like the added flexibility, but I don't know how often I'm going to use it. Probably a bit more in the early game, but not so much in the end game when I choose a location to settle down in and build a base. This is especially true with the leaf holders if I decide to have some animal pens. I like to harvest the palm leaves and use them as cheap and easy animal food, and then I have a separate leaf holder for the banana leaves for bandages. Next, we have increased capacity of some stands. The rope stand stands out for me as being the one that I'll get the most benefit from, as its capacity is increased from 20 to 30. This could be especially helpful in multiplayer, where you have division of labor set up, and some team members that are working on gathering raw materials can place more of them on the holder when they return back to camp. I'd now like to talk about 2 different changes, and I'm going to lump them together because I don't really care much for either one of them if I can be honest. The first one is the one key approach to adding and removing items from a holder. Under the old system on the live version, you use the E key on PC to add items to the stand or holder and right-click to choose certain amounts to remove. It wasn't perfect, and if you needed 4 items, for example, you would right-click, choose 3, and then right-click again and take 1 more. Or you could just take max and put 1 back. Now you add items with the X key and remove them with the E key. This seems fine with smaller amounts of items, but can become tedious with items that spawn in, such as the charcoal in the charcoal furnace. 15 pieces of coal spawn in the furnace, and it's a pain gathering them all when before it was a simple right-click and left-click to get them all. I do hope this doesn't make it to live, or they find a way to incorporate the old system with the new system. Creepy Jar also has removed the animation delay for picking up items. This is very useful, but it also removes some of the immersion from the game since Jake is no longer picking up items one at a time. The way he picks up the first item combined with the pickup animation also doesn't look right. It's a small thing for many of you, I'm sure, but immersion is one of this game's coolest features, and this change removes a part of that. Alright, enough of what I don't care for. Let's talk about the stuff I absolutely love. Creepy Jar has changed the rock holders into generic storage baskets. Great idea, as it lowers down on the holder clutter and allows for quick storage without hunting around for stuff. Like the rock holders, they come in a large and a small size, and thus also hold large and small things respectively. In large baskets, not only can you hold big stones, but also stuff like green coconuts and mud bricks. I'm thinking that if it's something that doesn't fit into your backpack, then it may be able to fit in here. As for the small baskets, they can still hold stones along with obsidian stones, charcoal, bones, and I love this last one, planks. Now, if that got you as excited as it's made me, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We're about to get into some of my favorite new items in the game. Let's also take a look at the elevator. Pretty neat idea. You can load stuff from one floor to the next, which will be very helpful when building your base, but even more helpful because it appears that the crafting rock is now broken to a certain degree. You can no longer carry multiple items on it, only one of each. So at least for now, no more loading up 418 pounds of bamboo logs and long sticks and carrying them from the lab to the abandoned village. I know, that was wildly specific. But back to the elevator, I could see myself building this when, like I'd mentioned earlier, I'm ready to settle down in an area and build a base. Once the base is completed, though, it may make sense to break it down and salvage the materials so you can add a floor and such to the area it occupied to give you more room for your base. On a related note, let's take a look at the sleigh. I like to think of it as a portable elevator that just doesn't go from floor to floor. I don't see myself using this much when playing solo because it can only hold 7 logs and 20 long sticks, and since you can't sprint while using it, it may make more sense for me to continue going back and forth from my base to an area to get more materials. But I think where this will really shine is in multiplayer. Having someone go back and forth, rotating between 2 or 3 sleighs while the builders back at the base pull from the dropped off sleigh while the other person gets more materials in the other sleigh just sounds like peak building efficiency to me, and I look forward to us trying it in our multiplayer Twitch games. I'd like to thank those folks that have stuck around for this part of the video because I've definitely saved the best for last. These last 2 items are my favorite, and I never would have thought that that would have been the case when I first started playing the beta. They're the shelf and the hanging shelf. You can store so much stuff in the shelf, and the hanging shelf is perfect for areas of your base where it'd be handy to have one or more raw materials handy for something, like charcoal and iron ore on hanging shelves next to the mud forge. And I always love building supply rooms and larders in my bases, so the shelves are going to be wonderful additions that will also look more visually appealing compared to the mud storage containers. The mud storage containers, they're still cool, by the way, and I'm still looking forward to using them, but probably just for bedroom personal storage and the like. I mean, look at all the different things you can store on these things, and I just love that I can now say that I have a canned cheese and sausage shelf. Y'all know how much I love my canned cheese and hot dogs. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the tour. As I mentioned earlier, please let me know if you'd like to see more extensive videos on each item so I can give each item its own video to spend more time on pros and cons of each one. I'd like to wish you happy building, safe building, and many blessings. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Take care.